Oceanside, California is a bucolic beach community that's located about 2 hours south of Los Angeles and is also home to world-class car building shop AVS Motorsports. I first met owner Allen Verschave at the 2025 Grand National Roadster Show while checking out the 1963 Fairlane owned by Dean Nesbitt, one of Allen's employees. I was really impressed with the level of skill and craftsmanship in that car and couldn't wait for the opportunity to visit the shop. How does a young drag racing enthusiast end up helping build a road race Fairlane? What else is in his shop? Let's go behind the build to find out. I figured we could start right here because this is sort of a shameless plug for Hot Rod Magazine.
It is. I mean, it's in this issue.
It is. New issue that just came out, but this is a car that I saw at the Roadster Show at the beginning of this year. This is one of the contenders for the Slonaker Award.
It is. It did start out like that, like most of them don't.
No.
I actually met Dean through this car.
Dean's your employee, right? He does your wiring and,
Yeah,
and all
he's
that
been
stuff.
with me for a little over 6 years now. I started doing all the fab work, the roll cage.
Yeah.
And then the car just started to morph into what it is now. Like at first it's just gonna be like a race car that you can drive around the street a little bit and just road race it, and then that's it. Then it got a little nicer and a little nicer.
And that happens. That's such a common theme. I've heard that all my career.
Yeah.
I'm always happy when that happens because something like this is the result. Early Trans Am from the 60s.
The single side exit exhaust,
Yeah,
the LS3 disguised as a small block Ford with the Holman and Moody valve covers, the Ford teardrop scoop,
Yeah.
the very, very much road race style cage with all the dimpled eye panel,
Yeah.
you know, to the A-pillars.
Yeah.
I made sure I put the diagonal bar. So it has that look from the back, so you see the diagonal bar.
Yeah.
And then it just started morphing from there, and I talked him into doing an 8-into-1 exhaust. So it has that real nice shriek when it's, you know, above, 4,000 RPM. But the car really turned out nice and tasteful. Has the Ford Wimbledon white, so it's kind of timeless. Like it won't age.
Which is important and it's hard to do, isn't it? And a lot of people don't think about that when they're picking out wheels and tires, for example, or interior pieces or paint jobs.
Well, if you go with old wheels, they're already old.
That's right. So it's timeless already.
So yeah, you can't go wrong there.
That's right. That's right. So, Alan, you said that you bought this when you were 16?
15.
15 years old. Okay.
Yes, I've had this car since 2003. Bought
Yeah.
it at the Pomona swap meet.
Really?
In Pomona.
Oh, wow.
Car
Okay.
is actually from Ontario its whole life.
Yeah.
So it's been floating around this area. But
Was it a gasser when you bought it at the swap meet?
no, it was all original. It was it had an Earl Scheib Miss Blue paint job on it.
Yes, yes.
And the guy put 75 Nova Mags on it, those 1975.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. I
that
know what you're talking
generation.
about.
With a real powerful 307 with a turbo 350 transmission.
Well, and we were looking at this before we started recording, but my God, Alan, the detail. I mean, just look at that engine block. I know how much work that is
To smooth it out.
Yeah, that engine block.
And these are actually aftermarket aluminum heads. I just
Mhm.
didn't want to see any badging.
Yeah, I get it. I kind of figured, but yeah, the detailing just under the hood is amazing.
Yeah, and it carries through to the bottom of the car. And like I said, I've done this car a couple times. And in its previous life, it was a drag radial nitrous car.
Yeah.
And it would run in the 8s with the Caltrax and a nice ATI Power Glide.
Yeah.
And the car did good for what it was. But when
Yeah.
I moved here, I just didn't drive it. It just sat around.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to make this thing a little bit more streetable. And I loved the vintage stuff. So I went with the gasser style with the drop axle and hairpins and all that.
We should back up then. You grew up in Illinois, right? And you have a drag racing background, right? And in terms of automotive, like what you do, what you like to do.
So my dad's been a custom painter since the early 70s. So he kind of got me into like the body shop world. So that's where I started is, growing up with my dad, wanting to make extra money for my dirt bike habit at the time. He was like, you come work at the shop, It was a great way to keep me on a good path.
Sure.
And then in like about 2004, I started working on this car to do the first rendition. I was a very ambitious high schooler at that point. And then in about 2007, I rented a 1,200 square foot building that my dad had on his property in Illinois. And that kind of started this, the AVS deal. because I started doing like NHRA Division 3, 8-point cages, 10-point cages, turbo kits, stuff like that. I opened this business professionally in 2012 in Orland Park, Illinois. That was my first building, smaller unit.
Yeah.
But it worked out. It was just 2 of us at the time, me and a younger guy.
Yeah.
And I moved to California in 2016.
What made you want to do that?
The climate, like most people.
Sure. I get it. I totally get it. Yeah.
You can drive your car year-round and not have
Absolutely.
to worry about it.
Right. No road
But
salt, no.
It was a gamble. I came here I brought 2 projects from Illinois, rented a building, and said, here we go. Let's go. So this car is a project I'm doing with my dad.
Yeah.
It's his last big project car. He's getting older.
Sure.
And this car was actually being built for a client about 7 years ago, and he kind of lost interest in it. He wanted to go a different direction. So my dad acquired the car, and I remember he called me and go, hey, I bought that 57. I was like, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
He was like, because he had another car at the time.
Yeah.
So as he's getting older, I said, let's do another rendition. He had a 55 Chevy called Orange Crate. It was in hot rod and a wheel stander, show car, race car. We would go to the track and people could not believe that we had this showable car at the racetrack.
Yeah.
So we want to do that again.
Yeah.
So 2027, this thing will be done.
Is there a specification this roll cage is built to?
So I just finished the cage because, like I said, the car had an original cage in it that I did 7 years ago as a 10-point.
Yeah.
So I cut out some of the tubes and I upgraded it to a 25.5. That way, you'll have a 750 cert.
Yeah.
Because the engine, I was going to leave it the 850 cert, but it's going to go way faster than that. So friends of mine online are like, why waste your time? Just do the funny car cage.
A question for the maybe a little bit ignorant. What's the difference between in terms of work and labor, funny car cage versus the 850 cage?
A lot of it has to do with the driver protection with the halo and right around the seat.
Yeah.
Obviously, the door bars do change, and depending on your floor pan design and the rocker design, there's a lot more bars in the floor.
Okay.
Being that I'm going to be welding all the floors back in this car, I can treat this car as like a factory floor pan or equivalent. So there's some diagonal bars and X's that don't have to be in this particular car.
Yeah.
But all the bars above the rocker bar are all there. So it's got a diagonal in the roof. It's got mandatory roof gussets.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, like I said, the funny car halo, the additional door bar.
Yeah.
I did, push it a little bit because my dad is getting older and I want to make sure he can drive his own car.
Sure.
So I'd lower that bar a little bit. It's going to be cool, man. It's Liberty 5-speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bored titanium bell housing. It's got a Fab 9 with an ultra case center section that is still in order, but it's coming. All aluminum 572.
Nice.
12-to-1 compression with a 1071. So it'll be on E85.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking on like 5 pounds of boost, maybe 1,200.
Okay.
And on like 10 to 15, that 15 to 1,600 is what I'm thinking. So which should propel the car high sevens.
Yeah.
I think.
You want to move over to the Willys here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a 40 Willys that I'm doing for a good friend and customer. It's got a blown 468 cubic inch 392 base Hemi.
Yeah.
This is a mock-up engine. The real engine's being built right now. This is all just parts he had at his house just to so I can build the headers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this project, the owner did the body himself. Car had some rust and it was a race car, so it was, it was repaired here and there. But the full chassis suspension is all handmade in-house. And I told Mark, the owner, I go, let's just go radical. I want to do this funny car influence double rail. The firewall tubes are just like a modern day pro mod.
Yeah.
I want let's just go radical.
Oh yeah. I see
Yeah, you
what
can see it in there.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah, so it's got all your later model chromoly tubes in there. We just finished a full trans tunnel that Zeus in and out for the Lenco. It's got a 5-speed Lenco in it.
That's neat. I like how you hid the coils here into behind the dashboard.
The owner is like me. He loves vintage nostalgia. So it's like he wants the modern amenities, but he doesn't want it to lose the flavor of the vintage.
And the tubing work for the brakes and is that a clutch also, the clutch master cylinder?
Yeah, so it's all handmade linkage.
Yeah.
So the only thing I bought were the pedal pads. I got those from Willwood.
Do you make these seats?
Those seats are the only thing from the old car.
Oh yeah, okay.
They have a branding from Nebraska. I think it was like a smaller fab shop, but the guy, whoever made these two seats, did a really good job. And the owner brought them just for mock-up, and I'm like, what are you gonna do with these seats? He says, I don't know. I go, they need to go back on the car.
Yeah, you made the right decisions.
So this is the only thing from the old car.
That's cool.
Everything else is gone.
That's cool. You kept the coolest part.
Yeah. So like I was telling you, John, I'm very much into the nostalgia, vintage stuff. I'm just an old soul. But I do get involved with some late model stuff and very high tech stuff here and there.
Yeah.
I'm linked up with my friend Eddie from Revolt Systems, and he does those electric motors. And I know it's very taboo to talk about, but I've got an electric Nova that I'm fabbing.
I can hear the comments rolling in already.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, what's that phrase? Any press is good press? Yeah. So bring it on.
That's right, that's right.
So this is our paint booth. It's an older unit. It still functions great, and it's got kind of a story of its own. It was the Saline booth in Irvine.
Wow.
So when they moved out of Irvine, this booth was bought by the previous tenant, and he, permitted and installed it.
Yeah.
So one of the first things I did looking at this building, I was like, it's permitted? They're like, yeah. I'm like, done. But this is a car you might recognize.
I do recognize this car. Carcraft video from a couple years ago. There's missing some parts.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was at a stoplight in the turning lane, and someone decided to take the front driver fender off of it. So I'd say an insurance claim. We do some insurance claims here, just on old vintage cars. I don't do anything late model.
Yeah.
But these cars don't belong in a regular body shop. They need to go to someone who knows old cars. So it's really best for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lynn is a super nice man, and we'll get this car all buttoned up for him.
Yeah.
Back to what it was.
Good. Right behind me here is a good example of why collector car insurance is so important. And if you've got an older car that you poured your heart and soul and money and time and effort into, you don't want to just insure it with a regular car insurance company. I personally was involved with this build, so it hurts to see it damaged like this, but it's also great to see it here and getting fixed right. You don't want to take a car like this to just any old collision shop. It belongs at a shop that understands custom paint work, custom suspension, modifications, performance work, and understanding that the value of this car is more than just the sum of those parts, or however much the paint costs, or what a new fender costs, for example. I know the owner's going to be happy. I know Allen and his crew are going to do a great job finishing the car, and that's why it's so important to have a collector car insurance like Hagerty. For more information, go to Hagerty.com.
Here, John, is a car we finished up about 2 years ago. And I remember talking with you about it at the Great National Road Show back in 2023. It's here just for a couple little maintenance, services on it. But it's a really nice 32 Ford twin turbo LS7 that we did.
Okay, twin turbo LS7 in a 32. That's pretty sweet. Where'd you hide the
turbos are way down by the transmission.
Okay.
But the gentleman who owns this car, he's owned it since 1962, and he's a retired nuclear engineer. So the more difficult the build got, the more fun it was for him. So you probably didn't expect me to have a Cobra kit car in here.
No, I didn't, but it's gorgeous though.
So this is the first Cobra kit car I've ever worked on, and it's probably one of the most radical kit cars.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
It has the very traditional look on the outside, but if you look under it and in the engine box, it really kind of tells a different story.
Yeah, like I noticed right away, these valve covers, there's nothing Ford going on under here, is there?
No. So it's an all aluminum 440-inch big block Chevy. It had dynoed out at just a little over 660 horsepower.
Wow.
Which anybody who knows these cars know you don't need anything more than 400 horse. But my friend Rich Ambler in PB, he just likes everything over the top, radical. This is what he likes.
Yeah.
And I put a Ron Sutton Racing front suspension on it because he wants to do some autocross with it. So
Okay.
I told him driving down the street will be
Yeah.
autocross. In the back is an Art Morrison fully IRS setup,
Yeah.
but he wanted the lower and upper arm style. So if you blow a half shaft, it doesn't lose the upper arm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I grafted that into the kit car chassis that was existing.
Yeah.
This is a very old kit. He's owned this car since '86 and he bought it secondhand.
Wow.
So I'm guessing the car's from like '83. So it's a very original old school kit car.
Yeah.
We repainted the car. It was a bright red when he bought it. And it was sitting in his airplane hangar for like 30 years.
Wow.
And then I started getting into it. So this is our second assembly room.
Yeah.
And right now we are in the thick of it, getting this car done for SEMA show. So that's why there's just parts everywhere, and it's just kind of a nature of the beast. So it's a '58 Corvette that I was contracted by Anthony from Volt & Steel to do all the fab work. And like a lot of projects that kind of come in and out of the shop, it started out as just the fab and paint, fab, paint, and assembly, and now I'm just helping him get it across the finish line.
Sure.
He's doing all the EV wiring. So we did the 12-volt side,
Right.
and we did all the paint, the fab, and then I kind of handed off all the, because I don't do anything high voltage. I don't get involved with that stuff. Now this car is really going to get some keyboards flying because it's a Corvette.
Yes.
58, a very iconic Corvette too.
Yeah.
And I think that was secretly Anthony's plan, was to is to get the Corvette guys riled up. So this is Anthony Valentino. He owns Volt & Steel, and he's doing all the electrics on the EV.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, I've been into muscle cars since I was a kid. Yeah, my first car was breaking my dad's 1969 442 into pieces in the driveway and then reassembling it. And then fast forward to today, after working in a number of careers, especially at one point working at a rocket company, being surrounded by taught of this kind of wiring and tech.
Yeah.
I really kind of wanted to figure out what else could we do with this bet. This bet originally started with, it was actually my uncle's. Brief story on that. And he was a head lighting designer for Walt Disney Imagineering, creating a lot of the different parks and resorts that you see today. So this kind of bet brings together a bit of that electrical heritage and background, but also has a subtle nod towards the racing heritage of the vehicle that it was, especially with like the paint scheme and so on. And really not forgetting about the whole goal here is to go fast. So it's really fun build. So really trying to cram a lot of this stuff into a very small body. Al has done an amazing job, because I think if you see a lot of different components here that we got to make fit in here, it's a lot of work.
So over here, John, I've got a project that I really can't show because it's going to a show that you can't display the cars. So unfortunately, we got to pan this way.
Yes.
I want so bad to show you that, but yeah, next time.
I understand.
But here are some parts that are getting body work for Prime. You know, on all these metal projects, you make them really nice. And I know there's going to be, you know, people on the internet going, oh, my car's got no filler. I'm sorry. It's just anytime you've got custom metal work, there's a little filler here and there. It just is what it is. And these parts are no exception. Here's some airbox covers and some intake tubes, some fender wells. And, you know, you don't want to make it out of filler, but a little skim coat here and there never hurts anybody.
No.
But this room here is our dust room. This is all this is.
Yeah.
So it's all walled off. It's got a door to the paint shop, so it's sealed. And it just keeps all the dust from contaminating the whole building.
Yeah, and that would be a big problem otherwise, right? If it's,
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my old shop, we would do a little bit of body work in there, and then I'd have dust on my keyboard in my office.
It gets everywhere. I know
It
what you mean.
does.
Yeah.
So this thing is, believe it or not a giant microwave. That's what it looks like. It's actually a 12 kilowatt fiber laser. So it's got a dual 5 foot by 10 foot bed, and the beds swap out. So it's for high production.
Yeah.
You can swap the beds to cut a lot of parts really, really fast.
Yeah.
And it does up to 1.5 inches thick. This was part of the transition from our old shop to the new shop, is I wanted this because I want to grow this side of my business to cash flow the rest of the business.
So you're talking about you're kind of becoming a manufacturer of parts that can be sold in a retail, and that way it kind of funds the rest of this so that you're not totally reliant on billing labor hours and building cars for people.
And we do a little bit of that now. I've got a small product line that I had on Summit Racing, Speedway Motors, Classic Industries.
Yeah.
And I was with Dan Chuck when Dan Chuck was around.
Yeah.
And so it's, at that product line, I'm still looking to grow and bring that forward more.
Yeah.
But also just job shop this machine.
I thoroughly enjoyed visiting Allen and seeing all the cars currently under construction at AVS Motorsports. And those 2 electric drivetrain cars were an unexpected surprise. Will they win over any hot rod enthusiasts once they're done? Maybe a few, but even if electric cars aren't your thing, we can all appreciate the skill and attention to detail that went into them. One other thing I didn't expect to see here was the giant laser cutting machine. Allen is taking an innovative approach to running his business in a way that ensures profitability that still allows him to take the time to build really fun cars. I love his Gasser Nova and can't wait to see the 57 Chevy when it's done. What do you think about an electrified Nova or a 57 with a funny car cage? Let us know in the comments and be sure to tell us what other shops we should visit in upcoming episodes of Behind the Build.